Just like pigs and the elite ruling classes, not all games of football are created equally. No, there's those special little gems they call local derbies. And when one comes around, something very strange happens indeed. So, here's your guide to the Manchester Derby. City and United were always destined to squabble like cats in a bag, but United manager Ernest Magnell really stirred the pot early doors just to make sure. Magnell landed his titles by pilfering City's top talent when the citizens were down on their luck. He snaffled Billy Meredith in 1906 when the Welsh wizard winger had his feet up serving a ban for his part in a bribery scandal. Then a year later, Magnell nabbed forward Sandy Turnbull, defender Herbert Burgess and winger Jimmy Bannister when City were forced to put their players up for sale at an auction after the club had been caught making illegal payments. The most famous Manchester derby of all time was played at Old Trafford on April the 27th, 1974. Dennis Law's back heel didn't condemn United to relegation. They were heading to Division 2 anyway, but it was the symbolic final nail in the coffin, and Law knew it. Hanging his head, he was immediately substituted, and the infamous goal against his former club was his last in league football. City trounced United 5-1 at Main Road in September 1989. It wasn't much consolation to Fergie that the best goal that afternoon was Mark Hughes' spectacular scissor kick. The then under-fire United manager went home to hide under the duvet for a few days after the signature goal of City's victory was a superb crashing header by Andy Hinchcliffe, the memory of which would keep their fans warm through the dark days of the 1990s. City failed to win a single derby during the 90s. Schadenfreude certainly wasn't their friend. A week before the derby at Main Road in November 1993, United were knocked out of the European Cup by Galatasaray, having been 2 goals in the lead. City's supporters rejoiced. Come the derby, City also went 2-0 up, only for Eric Cantona to score twice and new boy Roy Keane to batter home a winner. A year later, the 5-goal totem of 1989 was further sullied as Andrei Kanchelskis scored a hat-trick from the wing, helping United to claim their own 5-goal rout. Roy Keane was also the star of the derby in April 2001, though for very different reasons, deliberately cleaning out Alf-Inge Haaland at the end of a 1-1 draw. When he fessed up to this in his autobiography a year later, he was fined £150,000 and banned for 5 matches. City, meanwhile, won their first derby for 13 years in November 2002. Sean the Goat Goater, the unlikely 2-goal hero in the last ever derby at Main Road. The newly minted City have enjoyed the better of it in recent years. They won an FA Cup semi in 2011, en route to their first trophy since 1976. Mario Balotelli opened the scoring in a 6-1 rout at Old Trafford in 2011, revealing his "Why Always Me" shirt by way of celebration. That win was part of their first victorious league campaign for 44 years, and their 3-0 win at Old Trafford in 2014 went a long way to another league title, as well as pushing poor David Moyes closer to the exit door. But after 6 City wins in 7, United arrested the slide by winning the last derby 4-2. And so the cycle continues, just as it did back in Ernest Magnell's day.
It's always difficult to come back in a club where you won Scudetto, Cup, and because you can. It's impossible to do better. But you know, when they call me, I come back. But I take all the risk because it's very difficult.